doesn't know how to do this.
She,
It's 6:30. Let me see if I can get him to join us.
I mean, you can send, you should be able to send an invite maybe.
Hi Danny, how are you?
Good, you.
Good, fine.
How are you?
But yeah, she doesn't have it. He was already.
Warm in here. Long sleeves, you have long sleeves. You're not hot?
I mean, we give her the meeting code and
I'm
then
just,
that.
no, I
would be all
get
she
that.
would need,
I'm
you know?
60, almost 62. Those are over. It's
Yeah.
just warm in here.
You are?
I'm the
Those are
president
not
of
fun.
the-
Oh, okay.
I'm Susan, I'm the interim director.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get on the last meeting too early.
Not fun.
Do you,
But
I went to an early one without one that big.
they missed.
Staying here to admit people.
I mean, I will see. Yeah, no, I can, yes, I can admit, I fine.
So
Was I the- was I the dad? Oh, my goodness. Well prepared.
I know who's that Ayana's cat.
No. Do you have her text? Can you contact her?
Yes, she sent an email. She sent an email.
If she logs into Zoom, she can
How are
access
you?
the meeting ID number.
Well, the mayor usually sits here, but I'll. if he
I
comes-
can leave that
I'll
one.
bring a chair.
You want that one then?
Yeah.
All right, so the mayor will sit next to me. Thanks, Dan. Sure.
I can't. Would you give it to her so we can, if she sent it to
Sure.
Ayana?
Nothing much, you.
We don't have,
I'm not getting paid.
Elizabeth, do we have the gavel?
Here am I.
Okay, I'll get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. It normally was, Susan, you wanted your director's report a little moved up, right?
But it's not, it's okay, I'm fine.
No, we will.
I made other arrangements.
7A is now as director.
Only
Yeah.
because the personnel stuff is that should be at the end anyway, because of its executive session.
Oh,
so.
So
Things that
7
should be
So
personnel.
after 7A is going to be the director's
Yeah.
report. We make a
Hi,
move.
I'm Alan Roth.
Rosen
I'm sure you know me.
And then,
I'm the
Callan.
city's labor.
Executive session.
Oh, good.
They told me to
Just what we need.
come and
Yeah,
help.
then we get-
No, that gentleman right there, he's the be all and end all. It's your plug, Josh. I'm plugging you, man.
Yes.
Hi, Jill Lozano.
Hi, nice to
Okay,
meet
nice
you.
to meet you as
I'm
well.
the interim.
I absolutely am aware, but welcome in any event.
Thank you. There was something I wanted to look for and it's you and I think. Here. Oh, let me.
We're giving out,
Well, you just.
or agenda's giving out, or we got.
You're right here.
Oh, that would be nice.
Here, yeah. You don't have one?
I believe it.
Yes.
I'll grab 'em.
The equal cord.
Thank you.
So if she opens the Zoom app, she has the meeting ID, is that?
All right, let me give it to the, let me, this is.
I have others too. Should I give them a copy?
This is the same thing or this?
Yes. No, this is the timeline. I
Your mom?
corrected the timeline.
You're right.
And then this is from the doctor. I just got today.
Any last
Let me
things
just give it to
from her fall?
She could.
I know she went back to the dentist, did something.
Mr. Ross, could you look at this, please?
They said it may have like jarred what she has in her mouth.
Very nice to meet you.
Obviously, nothing.
Nothing bad. Mom's a nice lady. She was always a nice lady to me.
Yeah.
No, I knew her before this. I knew her before No, I didn't
No, I
pour
know.
from here first. This came after.
Hey, Dorota, when you look at, hey, guys, let's get started. All right, let's get started.
We're just
Good
starting
evening.
now. We have
Let's get started. It's already.
The meeting starts. I'm between two lawyers.
Okay, they can sit on that side.
There are three of them.
Okay, all right, yeah. So we're gonna call the meeting to order. Would we stand and salute the flag?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming to the Linden Free Public Library Board of Trustees, April 4th meeting. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. On April 1st, 2021, notice was sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, Union County Local Source, and the clerk of the municipality. No smoking is permitted at any time in this building. In addition to the listed items on this agenda, the Linden Free Public Library may discuss and act upon other items not specifically referred to hearing and is allowed at a regularly scheduled monthly board meeting under the Sunshine Law. So, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Dr. Malina,
Present. Here.
Deborah here, Susan Stack here, Yana,
Is she, did she get on? Okay, yeah.
Maria Polish,
Here.
Mayor,
Here.
Danny McCarty.
Okay, for anyone who has an alternate, let it be known that if you have an alternate, if, like, for example, if Manny Hazelton is here, you are allowed to observe, but you cannot speak because you're an alternate to the mayor or to the superintendent of schools. So it's really wonderful that everyone is here, but if the mayor is here, well, Danny, you know, does the drill. Okay, so now,
I'm gonna say anything anyway.
yeah, so now, the next thing that we have to do right now is that we have to approve the minutes. Because we did not have, the minutes was prepared. Did any of you guys have a chance to review all the minutes? Last month, we had about 4 different meetings. We had 2 special meetings. And we had our regular monthly meeting. Have you guys had a chance to approve the meeting, to read the minutes that were sent to you via email?
I have a question.
I think
Oh, did you? I'm
Maybe
sorry.
it's like-
My apologies.
Yes.
This is February meeting, minutes for, and these are March.
Yes, this is March meeting. We had
Three meetings a month.
in March, so we have 3 special meetings in March and we had 1 regular meeting.
But this is February meeting, so I'm confused. Are we approving February or March meeting?
I am not seeing February.
I think it
here.
was on your on your agenda.
Okay, I just want to
it
make
says
sure that
February.
what we're agreeing to is what.
I think, I don't know.
Oh, no, oh, yeah, that's an error, sorry. We are approving March meeting. We didn't have the February agenda. I'm sorry. So we had 4
That has to
meetings
be-
in March. We had 1 regular meeting on March 2nd, and then we had 3 special meetings. So these are the minutes. If you didn't have the chance to read it, we could table it until next meeting.
There was certainly a lot discussed at the last three meetings, so if you feel uncomfortable voting on these minutes, I would advise everybody to review them. And we can always table it and talk about it at the next meeting. But there was certainly a lot discussed. And I would venture to say that some of that stuff will be discussed at tonight's meeting. So not going to prohibit us from talking about the things that were discussed.
It's just a clarification. If this is February and it's supposed to be March.
Okay.
Do we have, do we have the February minutes?
We do not have the February minutes. We just started. If you remember last month, we were behind. So we are trying to see if we could stay current. We will eventually go back, but we're trying to stay current. So this is why we decided to prepare the March minutes. Okay, so do you guys want to do, would someone want to approve the minutes, or do you want to table it until the next meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right.
Right.
Vote yes.
I would mention, I'm sorry to interrupt, but on the meeting, and even though I wasn't there, I'm pretty sure that that was an error where you said the next meeting scheduled for April 7th, should have been April 4th on the
That
two
is
of them.
clear, yes.
So I would just remark on it.
Oh, furthermore, I am being very, I have to introduce people. Yes, so we have a second, so roll call.
Dr. Molina,
Present.
Dorota. Present. There, okay. Deborah here, Susan,
Here.
Yana, Maria. Here. Mayor.
Could you
and-
speak up a little, Deborah, when you talk? Just, I mean, I know it may be difficult, but just
Okay,
as you're talking, just so we can all hear you, okay?
okay, Mayor and
Here.
Danny and mechanics. Danny?
I'm here just to observe, so.
Yes.
All right, so before we go to our other agenda item, which is correspondence, before I do that, I think that I need to introduce new people here today. For most of us, we never had an opportunity to meet our newly appointed library board attorney. Ms. Jill?
Hi, guys.
Yes.
Hi, Jill.
Okay,
Hi, everybody.
Jill, her full name, Jill what?
I can't pronounce. Jill
Jill
Lazare.
Okay.
Lazar.
Lazar.
Jill Lazar.
Jill Lazar, okay, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Do you want to say a little quick about yourself? Oh, if you want to.
I'll be real brief. I'm really happy to be here. I'm honored to be appointed. Thank you so very much. I've been an attorney for many years, but before that, I was a piano teacher. So if you have any need for anything musical, just let me know besides the attorney. No, I'm really pleased to be here and I look forward to working with everyone. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Jill.
Welcome. The next person I want to introduce, I know we met her via Zoom, but I think out of due respect, we need to introduce our new interim library director. Miss Susan, how do you pronounce your last name?
Calentone.
Calentone. Would you
Yes.
like to say something to?
Well, I've been a library director for almost 30 years. I retired just recently from the Morris County Library System as their director. And I just started on this path of being an interim director, and thrilled to be here in Linden. The staff is wonderful, the board is wonderful. And I met the mayor, who was very nice over there. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. And the last person I want to reintroduce, because I think he's an amazing individual too. And I've had a pleasure to meet him on a couple occasions, but I think that I would like to reintroduce him to the board. His
Mayor,
name is
everybody
Mr.
knows the mayor already.
Mr. Alan Roth, yes.
Hi, everybody.
Mr. Roth, could you just briefly share?
Yeah, I'm the labor relations specialist for the city of Linden. The mayor's asked me to come in and help out with some of the personnel issues. As everybody may know, also I have a private practice. I do nothing but public entity law. So I do have a understanding of the way library boards work, and I also represented the Irvington Library Board for 20 some odd years, along with the Princeton Library Board and several others.
Okay, well, now that you guys got an opportunity to meet our new or new friends and colleagues, I would like to continue with our board meeting. Next on the agenda, item number 6 is correspondence. Madam Director, do you have any new correspondence to introduce to the library?
No, nothing.
Yes. So how was your first 12 hours of working? I know last week you did 12 full hours. How was it?
Well, the week before was 12, then I did 18. Wonderful. The staff is great, I have to say.
Okay, good.
Do you want to make,
Yes.
ask for a
Yes.
motion to rearrange the agenda so people can.
Yes, Mr.
Well, I don't have a written correspondence, but I'd like to make a statement with regards to some things that we've uncovered in the last week or so. Some things that we've uncovered. I just want to let everybody know on this board that I will be forwarding a correspondence to all the members of the board with regards to what we've uncovered in the last couple of days. You know, and while I don't want to accuse anybody of malfeasance, I will disclose to this board that malfeasance has been determined and that we will be forwarding our findings to the prosecutor's office within the next couple of days, as well as the Attorney General's office. And I just want that to be known and make that part of minutes of this meeting. And I will be forwarding a formal correspondence to the board stating as such.
All right, so, okay, so it will be, please make sure this be mentioned in the minutes for next meeting. Item number 7 would be our webmaster. Yes, our webmaster presentation by Mr. Josh.
Hi. You want me to just get started?
Get started.
Okay, so my name is Josh Weiss. My company is called Teleapp. We do all sorts of software development, including website design, development, and content management. We responded to the request for proposals that the library put out. And I was invited here to go over the presentation and answer any questions that you have. So if you take a look at the folders that everyone has in front of them, we've got 2 things. On the left, you're going to have a copy of not all of the addendum items like our business registration certificate and the EEO report. That stuff is sent in the one original that was told to me to submit. I'm not sure where that is, but I'm sure that someone has it. But I sent everyone that has a copy on the left of the actual proposal that I submitted. So all of the company background information, our staff members, where we work, everything about us is in that presentation, and we responded to all the questions that were asked of us. On the right, I put together a short presentation, even though it's 12 pages. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to make use of the flash screen. I don't believe that the webcam is connected to the screen, but just to make sure that we don't screw anything up, I can just recite it by heart. I know most of it by heart, and we can go kind of slide by slide. So let's get started. All right, so page number 1 is just our introduction. My name is Josh again. Let's go to the second page, the one that says who we are. I'm not going to go over this word for word. This is more of a leave behind. I'm just going to give you the highlights, and you can stop me at any point and ask questions if you have them. So this just explains a little bit about us. We are a 10-year-old company. We are based in Linden, New Jersey. In fact, my office is right up the block, 401 Northwood. We are actually right across the street from City Hall. So we're pretty close by. I've also been a resident of Linden for 15 years. I live on 1028 Forest Drive, along with my wife and 4 kids. Although that part's not in the presentation. So there's lots of accolades, and we've been featured in a lot of different places, and it seems very fancy. But the most important part really is on the bottom left, where it talks about the references. We've worked with the city of Linden. We do their website. We completely redid their website. We do their web hosting. We do their daily content management. We also did the same thing for the Linden Brazil Sewage Authority. We also have a letter of recommendation that came from the Uptown Linden Special Improvement District. Although we did not do their website, it was put together before I came on board as a volunteer. We help them out a lot with website related stuff. And so I thought that was important to mention. Let's go to the next page. All right, so let's talk about company overview. Yeah, so again, more rinse and repeat stuff about us, but let's get to the problem page, which is the only one that's like in the slightly reddish zone. So we took a look at the website as it is right now, and I presume that when you put together the request for proposal, you knew that your website needed to be redesigned. which is why we were asking for redesign. So we did an overview just to take a look and see what are the problems with this website right now. And there are a lot. Number one, the site looks outdated. It's not a current theme that is used in most libraries right now. We saw a lot of broken links. There are actually dead links right now on the website. If you go to, for example, 2019, and look for agenda minutes, you'll get like broken links and dead pages. This happens a lot on anything 2019 and prior. And there are also dead links in the explore section that we saw, unfortunately. It's not intuitive, it's not organized. It might have been organized at one point and it might have started out as like very good, but then as people or as little modules got added, it became more and more kind of disheveled, just sort of out of order and not very streamlined. On the next page, you'll see the solution, which is really just the exact opposite. Stage one is we're gonna redesign the website, make it beautiful, make it obvious, intuitive. There should never be there should never be a situation where a website has a broken link or no information on it. That's just not a thing that is allowed to happen. Another problem with the website as of right now is that it's not secure. And I don't like to use that a lot, but it doesn't even have an SSL certificate installed right now, which is like a basic standard way that we communicate over the internet securely. It requires an SSL certificate. It's the kind of thing that should take a website developer 30 to 45 minutes max. So
What do you mean by not secure?
So on the take a look at the slide after problem, right? So the second problem slide,
Yeah, the second, yeah.
second problem slide, look at the very top right, I kind of circled, see where it says not secure? That is what it says right now on your website. When you go to lindenpl.org, it says not secure on the top left. Every website requires a secure socket layer or an SSL certificate in order for encrypted information to communicate back and forth between the sender and the recipient. Right now, the Linden Public Library does not have one installed. It's unusual. It's certainly not a common, it's not industry practice. It used to be, maybe 15 years ago, it was unusual to have an SSL certificate. Nowadays, it's unusual not to have an SSL certificate. It's just such a simple, obvious thing that any website developer would do, even if they weren't asked. And so to me, that says that the communication and the relationship between you and your current vendor is probably not great, because this is something they should have done on their own. And if it wasn't, then someone here should have told them to do it if they knew to do it. I understand that lay people rely on experts to tell them what's wrong and to help fix it. This is not something that would ever happen with us. We're very proactive. If there's ever a problem, we will reach out to you and tell you, hey, there's a problem. This is our proposed solution. What would you like us to do? An acceptable response, though, is not leave it unsecure. That's not a thing.
I understand.
Yeah, just a glance. Let's go after a problem. So let's go back. Okay, so new site timeline. That's the slide I'd like to take you to. So over here, we kind of break out. Website design is no different than any software development. So whether we're designing a piece of software for the App Store or for Google Play, or whether we're designing a website, the stages are pretty much the same. If anyone here has ever built a house, you could probably divide it into 3 stages: design, development, and then testing. Design is the equivalent of going to your architect, getting your building permits, getting your plumbing plans, your electric plans, putting it all together, and locking down the scope of the project. That's design. Development is pretty boring for programming, at least. You got a bunch of people sitting around a table and just typing all day long. The last stage is testing. It's where we make sure that everything fits as it should. So we were kind of breaking this down and saying, we're going to build a house. Design stage 1 is when you talk to the architect and you meet with the plumber and the building planner. Stage 2 is where the actual construction company comes and builds the thing. And then stage 3, testing, is when you get to, you have your home inspection to make sure that you can get your CO, that everything is as it was supposed to be. These are the 3 stages. Building a website won't take us as long as building a house. We estimate 3 months or sooner. But we like to give ourselves a little bit of leeway in case there are unexpected surprises along the way. We estimate about 3 weeks to go through the design phase, about 7 weeks to go through the building stage, and probably about 2 to 3 weeks for the testing phase. After that, once we press the magic button and publish it, it takes about 72 hours for the entire world to be able to finally get to the new website. We also wanted to suggest that instead of keeping the domain extension lindenpl.org, that we go out and get a proper .gov website, right? So it would be something like linden-pl.gov. This way we can build a new website on the new domain while keeping the old one live on the old domain. And once the new one goes live, we would just push lindenpl.org to linden-pl.gov, And that would be it. It would be like a seamless transition. Someone goes to sleep at night and they see the old website, they wake up the next morning and poof, the new one is just magically there. What can you find out? All right, management. So this is just giving you a little insight into how we operate and how we work. If anyone has any questions about it, you're welcome to reach out to me. We're pretty quick with response times. We're not people who just sort of sit back and do stuff. A lot of times we'll get posts to post to a website, and we'll notice that there's an error of some sort. It might be spelling, could be grammar, it could be sentence flow, it could be conflicting information with a post that just happened. What I'm trying to make sure you understand out of this is that we like automating things, but automation is just one tool. And sometimes you need an actual person behind the wheel looking at things and making sure that everything works. And that's the kind of company that we are. Go to the next slide. Your team, right? So this is us. Every team, every client that we have has, well, for website at least, this group. We've got a project manager. In this case, that will be me. We've got website programmers. They're pretty boring people, and we keep them isolated in a room because they don't really like to talk to people. It's just the personality type that they are. We have graphic designers and artists. They are much more friendly people, very whimsical, nice, polite people. And then we have our writers, who are also usually nicer people. But you'll most of the time talk to one person, whether you call us, you call me on my cell phone, you call our mainline number, you'll always get a human being answering the phone. Well, I would say 6 out of 7 days a week. And on the Sabbath, when you call, I might not be able to answer the phone. One of our people in the office we forward our phone calls to our customer service person. She'll answer the phone, she'll find out what your issue is, and we'll try to get it fixed. But I'm not sure that the Linden Public Library has many 24/7 type of emergencies at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. But if you do, we're still here to help. Let's go to FAQs. All right, so this answers a lot of the most commonly asked questions about us. We talk about our financial structure. We talk about just typical questions that you might ask. One of the questions that I was asked, not by anyone here at the public library, but a different client that we had, the vendor of the time was refusing to produce the content of the website. They weren't going to give over any of the posts that they had given out, any of the CMS stands for Content Management System, right? So the machines that actually push the content to the website, they weren't going to give over anything. So if they were kind of, maybe not intentionally, but they were effectively holding the client hostage. And they were afraid that if they switch over to a new vendor, that the old vendor is just going to press a magic button, stop the website from going live anymore, and all of a sudden their website would be down. So this is a question I get asked a lot. The answer is no, there won't be any downtime. We have a technology that clones current sites, and then we bring it live. And so if there ever is a situation where your vendor is for some reason holding your content hostage, even though it doesn't belong to them, it belongs to you, we would clone the old website, manage it until the new one is built, and then it would be seamless. So long story short, there will be no downtime. In fact, when we have a prospect like this, we take the initiative and actually produce the server and start the cloning process just in case there's conflict. Because sometimes the vendor doesn't tell you ahead of time, hey, I'm going to shut you guys down.
One of the things I don't like with our website right now is the pictures.
I'm sorry, what?
Is the pictures, sorry, my accent. You know, like,
Pictures?
yeah, if you look at the pictures, they're very, low quality. Like when you see in the conference room, even this front picture, I think to me is low quality.
Huh?
Do you guys take pictures? Or
Yes.
how- So
Yeah.
you will take the pictures and that is included in your cost and everything.
If you're going to be showcasing interior photos of the library to the outdoors, yes, we are more than capable of taking high resolution, good photos. In fact, we also do some pretty cool VR 360-degree stuff. So people could put on if they're into putting on a VR helmet, they could put one on and then they would get the sense that they're actually in the room, and then they could, turn left, right, and actually see the entire room and feel like they're there. So we could do all sorts of really cool stuff.
And another question, Susan, do we have a technology department?
Here?
Yes.
No.
So we don't have a technology, and this is one of the things that concerns me, this library, is that we are supposed to have online, you're supposed to have a lot of different technology like what you do in your library, but we don't have a technology department. How would that hinder you being able to update us daily when we don't even have stuff like that here?
The website itself doesn't sit here. It sits on a server somewhere in the cloud. It has nothing to do with the systems that run the library. We took a look at all of the third-party software that you guys are using that's connected to the website. I don't think that any of that software is sitting physically here. I think it's all cloud-based of the things that are actually working, because a lot of the links were broken. And there's supposed to be what's called an API pass-through sometimes, where you click to a site, it's supposed to recognize hey, this is the Linden Public Library, so automatically introduce those credentials and then allow a seamless transition. So on some of them, it doesn't work properly. But once we communicate with your vendors, we will get those credentials, make them live. I don't believe that the internal computer system of this building will have any impact at all on our ability to produce the website or interact with the third-party vendors. The only exception would be if it turns out that you've got a local system sitting somewhere here on a server and it was installed once by the vendor and no one ever touches it. I don't believe that's the case, but if it is, we can still communicate with that vendor, bring them over here and develop whatever relationship we need to develop with them in order to interface it properly.
Thank you, that's my. Anybody else? Do you have anything to show us on video?
Well, if anyone has a computer and you want to take a look at our test server, just for,
I thought you had something that you could show us.
well, I was going to actually put this presentation on the flat screen. So I did bring my laptop, but I think you guys are using it for, actually, someone wants to be admitted. So I will just admit it for you.
All right, okay, so thank you then.
What I can show you if you'd like to see for just a moment here. Sec. We talked about cloning servers. Let me show you something here, 3 to 5. That's one that- And so this looks like the Linden Public Library website, but it's not. This is our clone that we already began to make. Just to kind of show you that we're pretty quick when we set our minds to do something. Okay, so I guess that's pretty much it for me. If anyone has questions, now would be the time. And if not, I will say goodnight and thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you, sir. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Now we are going to go to agenda item number 8, which is a director's report. Yes.
We're going to move that.
Nine.
We're gonna, no, we have the committee reports, so we're gonna do the director's report first. And then the treasurer's report. So the director's report first. We just made some, guys, I just apologize. It was recommended that we change it, we moved some stuff around on our agenda and put the director's report first before the treasurer's report. So please forgive me. So we just made some changes.
I think you should make a motion for
The
get a
changes?
second.
All right, so I want to make a motion to change the director's report from item number 9 to item number 8, basically.
My second.
Okay, roll call,
Dr. Malina?
present.
Yes. Yes, Mayor?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Ayana? Maria Polish?
Yes.
Beverly? And Tanya McInnes.
You'll have.
Okay, so we're gonna go to item number 8, which is a director's report.
Oh, no? Okay.
Yes, so it's been a pleasure getting to know the staff at the library. Everyone works so well together. I was very impressed with the fact that there are so many grants that people have applied for and actually received. I have a whole list here of different things. So we made a directive with the doctor here and to have more staff on the floor. And so everybody has agreed very well to having 2 people at all the service desks. And eventually, we're gonna shift things around and have another desk on the first floor for an information desk to have a librarian there to help people. So we've been working on that. I've been meeting with the staff and establishing their strengths and job descriptions. As you know, this library is civil service and union, so it's very difficult to, so we have to stay within the boundaries of those two things. So it doesn't give us a lot of flexibility. Working on the state report. Hopefully it'll be done by the end of the week. I met with the chief of police, Lieutenant Bachman and Lieutenant
Wiggin.
About active shooter training and getting panic buttons at all the service desks. I've really never been in a library that didn't have panic buttons, so I was surprised that there weren't any. I went around looking at the buildings and grounds, a beautiful security and heating system. It's great. New water fountains have been installed, and you can actually put your water bottle in, and you can fill your water bottle in the water fountain. So I've never seen that before. We discussed some of the protective shields coming down from the desks, especially in the children's room. It's really cover the desk with a protective shield, and it might come down soon. We talked about furniture and shifting some things around, and I contacted my furniture person, and he's also very good at figuring out how we can work with existing items. And he's going to be coming in like maybe 2 weeks.
Would he be doing, is he coming to look at the third floor so we could cut it in half?
Yes, but then there's also something else. An architect did a whole proposal on the second floor,
Yeah,
cutting that in half. So we'll discuss that.
I think that the architectural that was for the second floor should be moved to the third floor. We have a lot of space in the third floor there. I think that personally, you guys welcome to walk around the library, and I think the second floor is awesome. But what concerns me is that we have a big office in the back, a lot of space, and that space should be utilized into, I was observing downstairs the tutoring, and people cannot read because the tutors are tutoring. And I think because we have all the other areas in the third floor that is quiet places, I think we should cut it all back, have an office for the director, an office for the library director, the assistant director, if we have one, the bookkeeper, and storage. After we have storage, all the other space on that floor should be used for tutoring, where we can have like glass things, transparent offices, and it could be used for tutoring so that we would not be interrupting people on the first and second floor.
Would it be safe to say that you need to have a complete assessment of what needs to be done
Yes,
and maybe present that to the board?
yes,
So moving forward, we're not just talking about what we think has to
yes,
happen.
yes,
We have a
yes.
complete plan right in
that
front
is
of us.
correct,
And we'll
yes.
talk about that perhaps the next meeting.
I totally agree with you. Yes, continue.
Hopefully by the next meeting that
Yes,
he
you
will
bring in
come
your
in, Stuart will come, and we'll work together.
Okay, good.
It's really nice having a police presence. The officer that walks around, the patrol officer comes into the library a lot during the after school hours, which is very nice. The clerical union has to be signed today, so I'll give that to you. The library, well, I'll go with that later. Let's see. No, and we're going to start the process, of course, looking for a new library
That is
director.
correct.
And if you go to Pro Libra, of course, I can help in the process.
I'm trying to, this is director's report.
Yeah, this is a director's report
Is
she's
there some
doing.
sort of document that I can follow here?
It's in, it should be in your file there, yes. It's part of our file.
And then a grant was attained for, and this is amazing, 50 Chromebooks and 50 Wi-Fi hotspots. And the grant timeline says that within a certain amount of time, it has to be made available to the public. Well, they haven't been made available yet because they're waiting for policy.
We have the policy here tonight.
Oh, perfect, okay.
We
So
have
that's
the
beautiful.
policy, yes.
And I'd like to review eventually the unattended child policy.
Yes.
And
I think I
I
have
thought
one
we
here
had
too.
that.
We have an
already.
unattended talk chat. I think you mentioned, somebody brought one, but we have several policies here
okay, good.
that here would be included, yeah.
All right, great. And that's it. You know, like I said, I've only been here like 6 days, so. we're
I need to
working.
ask you a question first. How many keys do we have for the library? Do you know
You mean how many people have a key?
how many keys and how many people have keys?
Well, I don't know. There's lots of keys to all these rooms. Is that what you mean?
To the entrance of the library? How many keys do we have?
There's 6, I think. The
And who
maintenance
hides
guy,
them? Yes.
I think the bookkeeper. And I think that's it. See, I wrote it down when you asked me.
It's me.
The director
Yeah.
has it. Lou Ray. The fire and police also have. And maintenance.
So that's 4 keys,
That's it. That's what I've been told.
4 keys.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, is that normal?
I would suggest that we establish who has the keys, number one. Secondly, let's establish a policy of who should have the keys. Okay, I know the police should have a set of keys, the fire should have a set of keys, head of maintenance should have the keys, Jerry Bishop, who's our head of maintenance, should have a set of keys, and I would say that, and
Senior librarians, the director.
the director, right, the director should have.
But the question is that, do we need to change your locks?
Well, that's something very easy. I mean, if we're not comfortable with who has the keys, we can change the locks and if they issue keys, then we can see them.
So we don't know really who still could have keys.
Okay, well, Jerry, we have Jerry directed. Jerry,
What do you
I want
suggest?
Jerry, as a matter of protocol, I'm going to direct you to change all the locks to the entrances and make sure that those who should have keys, and those who don't have keys.
Sure. For example, the water fountains you alluded to before, that was one of my divisions that did that work. I think for emergency purposes, flooding or something else, perhaps buildings and grounds division should have a key.
Yes, that's.
And what we can do with your existing locks is go ahead. I think you guys must have an agreement with Maffey's. Does that name ring a bell with anybody as a locksmith? The city does, but I'll.
We have a contract with Matthews.
Yeah, I'll look into that and probably without changing actual lock assemblies, just rework the tumblers and Maffey's would then present whoever you want to have the new keys. The old ones are now defunct, they don't work, and here's 4 new keys or 5 new keys, however you folks would like.
And how soon could we, do we have to vote on that to change the keys tonight or?
I
it's just-
don't think.
I'm not sure how you're set up. I can tell you that I can put all of it in motion tomorrow morning if you'd like.
Okay, all right, okay, so would you please work in that for us? I
Certainly
think
not.
it's needed.
Sure.
Anything we do will, as we do it, we'll make sure that there's a correspondence associated with any action that we take.
Does any board member have anything to say regarding changing the locks? Huh?
I have a question for you.
I'm Jerry Bishop. I'll give you a card.
We're gonna, one of the other things that we have a contract with Matthews, one of the other things that we have is a swipe. Where you can actually swipe your
I
card
have one
and it
too.
will record, it will give you access to certain areas.
I
Yeah.
And also,
Go back.
that-
Thank you.
oh, one of the other things we have is a system where we can swipe. And that will give you access, and it does a great thing is recording is when you're here. So, and who goes to what room and what.
So you're going from a key to a digital key.
No, we're going to keep our keys, but I have a key and a swipe in my office. I have a key.
This is what the city has.
I got a key and a swipe.
There's an awful lot of technology out there.
And technology is good for 2 things. Technology keeps, it monitors who's coming in and out.
Can we get one of those at the high school? With the students in the classrooms?
Tell that to Dr. Marlene.
You all have your own budget.
Yeah, there you have it. There you have it.
All right,
Anything to be had from-
okay, let's move right along. So we settled with getting a key. So when you have some time, you could possibly meet with the director and possibly with me, and we will determine how. I think I like the swipe card for some
They're
reason.
good for a lot of reasons, but the key is always.
Well, it's
Like in
key
my
is
office-
backup.
in
key is
my
backup.
office, you can't swipe my office, like, because that's programmable. So anybody can program a key to get my office, but I have a backup system where you can turn it off. That swipe system doesn't work. It'll show that you swipe, but you can't get in because I got a master key.
Yeah.
Says you can't get in unless I turn that key to a certain position.
Basic,
Swipes
a
and keys-
basic,
Swipes and keys work in conjunction with each other.
Okay.
yeah, a basic concept is key, as you all know, can be duplicated.
Mhm.
I can hand that key to
That's
this
why I
young
don't
lady,
like
she
it.
can pass it to 12 people,
Yes.
and there goes your security.
Yes.
Whereby a swipe card is personalized to an individual.
I prefer that. If we could make that happen, I would because
It's a
what
dual
happens,
system.
yes,
It's a dual system.
it's also computerized, so anybody who come in at a time that it shouldn't be here, you would know.
Okay, well, how about we price it out both
Okay.
ways,
Figure it out.
mechanical and
Okay.
digital, and I'll
Yes.
present that to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right, moving on to agenda item 8, treasurer's report.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Was our director finished giving her report? Were you finished, Susan?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay, I'm
yes,
sorry.
Fine.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, oh,
I'm sorry.
you said you were, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I thought I just interrupted you, I'm sorry. The treasurer's report?
Oh, I don't really know where to start. Did everybody read my report?
It's in there, you saw the treasurer's report? Did you have it? Everybody was sent the treasurer's report?
About the payroll.
Something like it says this.
Is there something you think we should talk about in the treasury report, Madam President?
Well, Madam Vice President, I think that you should, this is a very interesting read. I think you should discuss the treasurer's report, please.
Read it? Where?
He's the treasurer. Yeah.
Is in here.
It's in here, but he may not have printed it out. Yeah.
A few weeks ago, a few months ago, I asked our bookkeeper to produce the statement of the checks issued for the past 2 years. And basically, I saw so many times that there was checks issued to the personnel. When I asked to see the backup, basically, I couldn't get it. I had to basically ask the president to intervene to have those backups presented, but still, a few weeks later, I got them, but not all of them. And those that I got, they were basically backups without proof of any purchase. Like there was one of the checks issued to,
Don't call names.
Don't quote names
Don't
only
call
because
okay,
there's an
to ex-
investigation.
Yeah,
We just
Yeah,
want to keep
just,
that.
yes.
So there was checks issued to people, and basically I didn't get any proper documentation to back up the purchase. So because of that, I would like to ask the board to hire forensic accountant to basically check everything.
International. And let the record state that I was at a meeting where information was being requested, and I saw there was a deliberate resistance to that information being provided. So I'm 100% in favor of any type of any type of forensic audit that may be required to go in conjunction with the investigation that I forwarded to the county attorney and the state attorney general. And this, any information that shall be acquired shall be forwarded to them as well.
Of course, after the meeting, we will sign the checks and review the check, sign the checks to pay bills, right?
Yes,
If you
well,
have
I,
that.
I looked through the checks that, where's my, the check issued for this month. And I don't see anything outstanding, like, to be checked. So I will move to approve the list of the checks issued for the month of April in the amount of $86,503.51.
I vote to approve the payroll. Second.
This is not the payroll, I'm sorry, this is not the payroll,
This is
just the
this is
regular
just
checks.
expenses.
Yes.
So I think we have to do a roll, approve it and do a roll call to approve the payment of the bills.
I do.
Okay, Dr. Malina,
Yes.
Rhoda,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes,
Deborah, yes, Susan,
Yes.
Yana, Maria Kolish. Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go to item number 9, building and grounds. Susan.
Well, I think you and the director, Susan, had already discussed the redesign of the third building space that you were going to get together and figure out the second floor and the third floor.
Yes.
So that I think we touch base. The landscaping, I know that's been a issue coming up often. But we should see how we're going to maintain whatever we do before we spend money on putting new things in, because there's been a problem with weeding and upkeeping what we already have. I don't know if anybody have any comments on that.
Well, I totally agree with that, because one of the problems we have had over the years, of me being on the board since 2015, we would never maintain the garden the way it's supposed to be. And of course, I believe in the in landscaping being done, but one of the most terrible thing is to see a landscaping not upkept. You have to have a plan in place to maintain it if you want to spend money to do landscaping, yes.
If I could just make a small comment, typically what's done in the city of Linden, it doesn't mean that we're right, I'm just telling you it works. Whatever custodial personnel are at any given property consistently, like you have here, in our case, they maintain the inside of the building and the property. We, the Buildings and Grounds Division within the Department of Community Services in the city, will back you up for repairs and trades, specific trades work, electrical, heating, venting, air conditioning, plumbing. Happy to do that. Painting, happy to do that. But my humble suggestion to you would be grass cutting, weeding. We've offered our services to train your guys, and I think they're terrific. I know Tony and I know Miguel. If there's anybody else, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of them. But your building personnel should be able to maintain what you have, in my opinion. There are courses, I'm sure that you have somewhere in your budget line items, perhaps some educational money. Rutgers has a wonderful place. You can do virtual courses or on-site courses, and they have a wonderful, wonderful course at Rutgers that could bring your folks up to speed. And we would be there, the city would be there to supplement, but on a day-to-day basis, weeding, run-of-the-mill issues should be handled, I would suggest, by your in-house people.
So what you're saying in essence is that we should train the people that we want to do it before we start investing money on landscaping.
First thing you need to do is to outline, and I'd be happy to play a small role in that, outline what's expected of your people, and then have them, I don't want to say excited about it, but you have to get their buy-in. I'm going to keep an eye on that during the growing season, and you're not going to see a weed for more than 3 days or 4 days or 5 days.
Yeah.
Make it manageable, and they'll be proud of the end product, and you will too, as a board.
Okay, all right.
The next part, building and grounds, which is the major, I think, most important right now, is the elevator problems. They've broken down a couple times. Last time we were here for a meeting, it was not functioning. For safety purposes, you don't want anybody stuck in there. You need your whole library accessible to anybody who cannot use the stairs. So we need to find out how much to fix Or do we need to invest in a new
Yes,
elevator?
and I had the amounts, which I'll have to send, but we did get some quotes on what it would cost to get a new elevator. It wasn't outrageous, the amount.
You gotta do an RFQ, right? Don't you
Right,
think we should
yeah.
do an RFQ for offers to replace the elevator or repair? What do you think?
I do have, do we have a standing maintenance contract
We
with?
do, we do. The company that we deal with happens to be called Jersey Elevator. They've been on board with a number, every elevator that we have in the city, City Hall, Gregorio Center and so forth.
Maybe you could impart on them as a shared service to at least look at the elevator, see.
Yeah, let's see what Susan
They
has.
have been coming in to look at it.
Yeah,
Have,
Well, yeah, because it breaks down a lot.
yeah. And
So,
you guys are not antiquated. Yours is salvageable. Believe me, it was 14 some million dollars to build this. And
Yeah.
it wasn't all that long ago. We had City Hall with a building built in 1928 and the elevator banks, both of them being 47 years old. You're fortunate if you get 20 years out of a frequently used elevator. We're at 40 years. So we're gonna be spending about $200,000. That's the guts and everything else, the electronics. You guys are in far better shape than us.
but if it needs to be replaced, then we should go out for, you're gonna have to go out for a bid, it's not an RFQ.
You said it's not
A bid?
Yeah, I don't know,
See
that's
what
why I'm
Susan has.
asking.
She
Jerry.
keeps it. Susan's
No,
That's the
but
guy
I'm
I
wondering
would go
who would
to
come
and
and
ask
really
the
give the
question.
assessment.
Since he's here,
Depends on
since he's
you.
here,
Right.
Yeah.
since he volunteered to be here, might as well ask him, use his brain.
Happy
How
to do it.
old
Well,
is the
Susan
one
has some
here?
documentation from Jersey Elevator. Why don't you, at your convenience, look
Alright.
into what you have?
And then I'll give you well, because we need some, like an outside person to come and look and say, this is really what's
Yeah,
going on.
is it just a Band-Aid or is it going to
Right.
fix the problem?
Exactly. You
So I-
can't depend on them to tell you.
The only thing I'll tell the two young ladies that I gave my card to is you want to change .org to .gov. I'm an old guy and that's an old business card. And we've done the migration from org to gov in the city, so just make a note of that.
How old are the elevators here, do you figure about?
I'd say 12,
12?
I'd say 12 and not,
Alan, they should not need to be replaced.
they should not need to be replaced.
I'd
if
say
they don't
Bronson,
do
he
the
would do.
volume.
Oh,
They
next
don't
to
do
the
it.
Union County Improvement Authority. You
They
would
don't-
replace them 3 times.
Yeah, they don't get the volume of use that City Hall does, as you would imagine. You're gonna be okay.
So you said .com or
It's
.org?
.gov, it's the current, that's an old card.
Okay, .gov.
So Susan,
Yes.
Susan, you finished or?
Well, we were gonna say something about the non-functioning toilets, but they've been reopened and, you know,
Yes.
that's been taken care of, so I don't think.
So our,
No.
so our only major financial concerns that we stand right now is our elevator. And at least you are here, so you could give us an insight, but I believe a 12-year-old elevator should not be replaced. I think we need proper servicing to make sure it works properly. 12 years old, I'm not even that old.
Do we know how often it has broken down?
Beg your pardon?
Do we know how often it has broken
Do
down?
you have,
broken on Saturday the other day.
it was broken again on Saturday?
And then it was broken, when was I here, Friday? Friday
Yeah, the
it
week
broke down
before.
too.
Jeez, and then when we had our meeting here,
Yeah, you had to
March.
walk up the steps, yes, so, all right,
Yes, so
so,
often.
could you help us follow up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, to see what's
It'll be
going on.
fixed before your meeting is over. No, I'm kidding. I'll reach out to Jersey Elevator and get them on it. Susan, feel free to reach out and say, hey, I found the document. They said it's gonna be $2,000 and then they'll put us on every 6 months for maintenance.
Okay. I'll get the maintenance.
All right, so the next step, the next area we're gonna go on is technology. Now, we do not have a technology department. And this really concerns me in the, you know, as a forward-thinking library or progressive library, we should have a technology department, but we don't have one. So Susan, I know that I'm putting a lot on your shoulder and I do apologize. Could you, one of the things we had agreed upon when you took this position is to look at our organizational chart and to try to figure out what we could do to be a fully functioning library and areas of weaknesses like lack of a technology department is one of the areas I would like us to look into. To see, because based on your experience, wouldn't you agree we do need a technology department?
Well, I was surprised that this library is a standalone library, and you're not part of a consortium.
Yes,
Now, if you were part of a consortium like LMXAC, which everybody is except for you, this library, that would come with the technology department,
yes,
so that you would pick up the phone and say, hey, my computers aren't working today, and they would send somebody over. That would be part of your agreement.
yes.
So with this, a standalone, you either have to have an outside company come in when you need them, or you need to hire somebody. And I don't know if you really need to hire somebody yet. I don't know if you have that much technical issues.
What do you guys think? Don't you think, Maria, with your experience, don't you think we should become part of a community?
I'm surprised that how long it's like. Yes.
I was shocked though,
Yeah.
because somebody had said to me, no, Linden's not part of it yet, and part of it. And I was like, that would really make a big difference.
I agree with that. We are a forward-thinking library, and it's time we move, we get caught up with the times and not having a technology department when everything around us is technology-based is very surprising.
The consortium is not just based on technology.
No, it does everything. It would do all your cataloging.
Yes.
Not all your cataloging, but it would do everything you need to run a library, basically.
Because one of the things I have found when I was doing my research, is that most libraries, like Union County Library, Cranford Library, most of those libraries, their cataloging is part of the technology department.
Well, they have LMXAC to help out.
Yes, and it is said it with that, the cataloging moves a lot faster
Yes.
because it's part of the technology department. Right now, cataloging in our library moves very slow.
Well, they're
So,
also trying to get everything. They just bought a self-service checkout kiosk. And with that, you have the RFID, so they're weeding, so they have to get rid of all the books, right?
Right.
And then the books that they're not weeding, they have to tag with an RFID. Yeah, like a scanning thing.
Takes time.
And that takes a lot of time.
Yeah, but because
Lots of
of,
time.
yeah, but we're doing it slow. I think if it's done, if we were more efficient with technology, I think we could move fast.
Well, the work itself is very labor intensive. You have to humanly do it, to tag and put it all on there. It's not, the technology is only sped up when you scan it after it's done.
Yes.
But that's after manual
Well, I'm
work.
glad that they decided to weed,
Yeah.
a really intensive weeding, because librarians don't like to weed, get rid of books. So I was impressed that a lot of books are going out, but that takes time too. You have to take it out of the system, reports, the whole bit, so. But they're moving along. Right,
Yes.
but being
okay.
part of a consortium would be, maybe I could have her come one time and talk to the board about that.
Yes, we would like that.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we went over all the stuff that we could right now in open session. So we would like to do at this moment an executive session to discuss some other areas within the agenda.
We'll
So,
have Zoom people on, so to be able to
yes,
close
so
them
we will
out.
have
Or
to
is that,
close off for the executive
is
session.
that correct?
Yes, we have to.
We're no longer in a state of emergency, so anyone that's a member that's virtual, we have to excuse themselves only because.
Yeah, it's an executive session.
We can't guarantee confidentiality for whoever's on the other side of the camera.
And another thing is, though, this is gonna be our last Zoom meeting. We want moving forward to have in-person meetings moving forward.
So I'm going to end the Zoom meeting.
Yes.
Do I need to make an announcement
Well-
about things or?
Not end it, you have to close it out until we come out of
Yeah,
executive session.
is this,
So we have to
you'd
do
have
a
to put them in a
vote.
breakout room where they
No,
might have
we have to
access
do a vote first to go into executive
Right.
session, and then when we do the vote to go into executive session, then you close them out, and then when we come out of executive session, you open back up.
Just leave the meeting. in this meeting and then coming back.
So,
We're not exiting.
yes, so I move to, for the board to go into executive session,
I second.
okay? Madam Secretary,
Dr. Malina,
yes?
Rhoda.
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Deborah, and Maria Kolish.
Yes. I see, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's passed, roll call.
No, we're going.
We did it.
I do.
We did it.
I just want to make sure I
We're
do it
going
right.
into
Okay.
executive.
Yeah, you have to explain why we're going into
So we are, yeah,
personnel.
we are going to into executive discussion, we're gonna discuss policy
Yeah, I got this. But this is I had Monica on there.
Yeah, well, they were on there, but right now it's closed. She shut it off.
Oh, all right.
This meeting is being recorded. Continue.
Continue.
Yeah, but right now it's
All right.
closed. They shut us down.
All
And
right.
when it goes back, then they have to let you back in. Because what's her face,
Okay.
Polish is in there. She let people in.
Oh, all
It's
right.
that tragic music. It's tragic, the music.
Yeah,
and
no.
Happy music. I don't know what's her face? This is her empire now.
Who? Carol?
Bergen.
Oh,
This is her issue. Screw us as much as she can. I think she just wants us to get out of here.
oh,
Shut it
wait, nothing. Mute your mic. No.
down. You're right. Mute your mic. Who's your mic? I don't know.
Where's my mic? right, that's what you guys are seeing. All right.
Oh, I like to watch now.
That's a great TV.
Oh, I
So many
I
great
like
channels.
It's a good TV.
All right, let's go.
Okay, guys, yes, we almost
The
finished.
mayor's gotta go, so let's
Let's get
probably
it
wrap
finished,
up.
yes.
So we'll celebrate. We'll try to wear it.
There it is.
Is that right?
I'm the one that opposition with.
So I don't have to do any of what?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
Do you have a pen?
You're two.
It's like it's late.
Primary. Can you imagine? a Republican primary?
We're recording. This is what's up here. We're good.
Yeah, they
It's
don't.
there, it's just many.
No, I got that. Maybe it just goes away.
I never understood that.
They can't see it
Yeah,
anyway.
no, yeah.
Are we ready?
Yes, ma'am. It's up here.
Okay, so could I put, would you guys put a motion on the floor to open up?
Ask for a motion.
Ask for a motion
To
to-
conclude the executive
I motion to conclude the executive
session.
So
session.
moved.
And I make a motion to reopen back?
Same thing.
Okay, so now,
You can say all in favor, say aye.
all.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So moved.
All right,
Now
so
we're in
moved,
public
yes.
session.
Okay, so now we're in public session. We're gonna, so we have to vote on the hiring
Of the auditor.
of the forensic.
Bart
yes.
Fuden.
Bart Puden. We make a motion to hire the certified forensic auditor. His name is Bart Puden.
Can we get a motion?
I motion to hire Bart.
Second,
Second.
What's the name?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Any opposed?
All right.
So moved. We have now voted to hire Bart Fuden to be the forensic auditor.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Bart Fuden. Get a motion
yeah, could we get a motion to hire a new,
to discuss.
To dis-
action.
to discuss an open session hiring a library director,
New library
a
director.
new library director?
Yes,
Yes.
so moved.
So move.
Second,
Second. Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
Again?
So
Okay,
moved.
pass.
Passed.
Now, hiring a part-time assistant library director. Can we get a motion for that? Anybody move to
So moved.
second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Pass. No, we're not doing seasonal.
All right, so, I guess that, we are ready for comments from, comments from the public. Now, members of the public who desire to make a public comment may speak. Please begin your comment by stating your name and address. Individuals are invited to speak on one topic at a time, and no individual will speak more than once until all individuals have spoken. The public is reminded that to ensure the efficiency and orderly operation of the meeting, members of the public will be limited to speak on items for no more than 3 minutes.
Madam Director, can you hear me now?
Yes?
Yes, okay. So I have done I've done a deep dive and I have requested public records.
Excuse me, you did not introduce yourself properly. Could you introduce yourself?
Oh, thank you. You learned something from the last meeting. Thank you very much. Monica A. Smith, 169 Carson Court, Somerset, New Jersey, 08873499792. Okay, so here we go. Okay. There are how many, you know what? There are how many members on your board? There are 9. Armistead, mayor, okay? He is ex officio, so he is allowed to be on your board. Hazelton, Marna, she is the superintendent of the system for your schools. She is allowed to be on the board. Okay? You have Katowski, Dennis, okay? He has an official oath of office that is required by the board to be registered with the borough, okay? He has that. And Madam President, you do not. You have okay, Madam President, you are appointed to fill a position relinquished by Mary Jane Renna that ended on 12/31/2022. You do not have an official oath of office, which is required by library law.
We'll take it for comments.
Thank you for your comments.
No,
Oh, I thought yes.
So there are other members of your board that do not have a required library oath of office. Okay? Azevedo, Deborah. They were sent a letter on 2024-2021 to sign an oath of office. They did not do that. Bird, Ayanna, sent a letter on 2024-2021 to sign an oath of office. They did not do that, okay? If you want to be on the board of a library, you have a verbal oath of office, and you also have a required signature oath of office. You did not do that. I did an Oprah request, okay? And if you say that you did, then okay. But you know, as the cool kids say now, you know what? If you didn't have it in pictures, it didn't happen. But this is not registered in your city council.
Excuse me, we did just hit 3 minutes. Could you please reiterate your name again, though, so that we have it properly for the
Monica
minutes?
A. Smith, 169 Carson Court, Somerset, New Jersey, 08873-47192.
Your name now again? I didn't get it, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was my elocution not appropriate?
Yes, can you repeat it, please?
Monica A. Smith, 169.
Okay, I have the other part.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
088.
We have it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So who is next? Thank you for your comments. So who is next?
We have somebody
Elizabeth,
here.
Elizabeth.
Is it permissible to speak on the question here under technology about employee files on the cloud?
Sure.
Is that something that we're doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Public
Okay,
comment.
can you explain what that's all about? Because a lot
No,
of people.
no, I'm sorry. It's public comment. You want to have a comment, you can ask the board,
Okay.
make your comment. Board does not necessarily need to respond. Again, we don't want to say that we're interfering with anybody's 3 minutes by having a back and forth. So you have 3 minutes.
Just asking permission to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you can talk, but the board doesn't have to respond.
Okay,
So just identify yourself, even though we know you, but for the record.
and it's 1100 Stewart Place, Linden.
And your comment?
My question is, could you explain the procedure or process of putting employee files in the cloud? Several members of the staff and both unions are concerned about that, and what's that gonna entail? And is there security attached to that? Is it on a private server? How's that gonna work?
Okay. Well, this is not for you.
I'll discuss it.
The mayor would like
It's
to.
no different than us having a server in the basement, and your information put on it, except now we put it in the cloud, it's more secure. And if you got, let's say you were terminated today and you got upset and you said, well, I'm gonna delete all my files. Well, guess what? You couldn't, because they're in the cloud now. And they're secured in the cloud. Almost every governmental agency is moving to cloud programming. My police department uses it. The state police uses it. The federal government uses it. And it's the most secure environment you can possibly have with regard to with employee data. And that this is the way that the world is moving in this direction. These servers that are in the cloud are just as secure, they're more secure than the ones that we keep in our basement because there's no floods involved.
Is the employee able to see his own file?
No, you can see your file when you ask for it. I mean, if you work on a document, you can go to that document and pull it down. It's your file. So can everybody else, and if they have to, that in the organization, unless it's some sort of document, it's a personnel file. It will be secured the same way that a personnel file will be secured if you have a server in your basement.
Okay, but it seems to me when you go to a doctor now, you have to sign various forms that you allow them to share your information. Does the employee have that option?
Well, if you work on a document, that's part of this library, then it's not yours. It belongs to the library.
So your personnel information belongs to the library?
No, your personal information is not going to be delivered to anybody. Your personal information is going to be secured as it ever has been. It's just, it's in a cloud. Your server is no longer in your basement. It's in the sky now. I don't have to worry about a tornado destroying the building. I can access, if a tornado comes in and wipes this whole building out, I still got all my information. I can, from a disaster recovery perspective, I can move this library down the street now.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
You have to understand there's two things when it comes to in the right to know law. There is personal information and there is personnel information.
Right.
Your personal information will be stored differently than your personnel information.
Yes, your personal
information, anybody
It's secure
under the
as
right to
has
know
ever
law,
been.
they could pay 5 cents or 7 cents and walk into any place and request your personal
Listen,
information.
if it was a problem, then we as the city of Linden wouldn't be doing it. I mean, if you have an email, that is a library governmental email, and you send it to Jane Smith in Florida, well, if sometime or another we need to access it, we can. The same way we can do right now, if you send an email from a server that's in the basement, we can access that information the same way as we always have. It's just more secure now. And guess what? If you send an email to Jane Smith and you try to delete it and think if you've done something criminally, well, we can access it through the cloud the same way we could if we went down to a server in the basement and took the hard drive off of the machine and hired some forensic accountants to look at it. It's no different, just a more secure setting that we're putting in. It's the way things are moving. It's, you know those saying, I've seen the future and it's here? Well,
Yeah.
I've seen the future and it's here.
Well, I think it would have been helpful if there was some sort of a memo or letter that went
Oh, we're gonna give you all the documentation you
to the
need.
staff to explain what this is.
So we're gonna give you all the documentation you need. Nobody's gonna force anything down your throat. What we will tell you is that the age of information technology is here. The way things have been done in the past are gonna be no longer. And, you know, it is what it is. I had resistance in City Hall when we started doing things differently. And guess what? Everybody loves it now. I had 3 employees try to delete information when they were terminated.
So what again is your answer on these not
Excuse me, it's not your- excuse me,
It's not your.
this is not, you have your 3 minutes. We thank you very much for your
Oh, thank you
participation.
very much.
But that's
Okay,
all.
well then, thank you very much for me sending certified.
Please,
letters
ma'am,
to
you're
you
disrupting the meeting,
and the
please.
city prosecutor and the board president.
Yeah,
Because
you're
you know what?
disrupting
You're in
the meeting.
violation.
You have your 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah, where was that documented that I? You know what?
Mute her,
Who's in
please.
charge of the, who's
Would
on
you
the
mute
meeting?
her,
Mute her,
please?
please, mute her.
Yes, mute her.
Oh, I'm getting cut off on a Zoom
Yes,
meeting.
you are.
because I'm part of the
You're not
public.
supposed to be speaking, ma'am.
Just mute her, thank you.
That we want
Next
to-
person.
Is there
Next
anyone
person,
else?
is there anyone else?
Yeah, here, this one.
Okay,
Somebody
seeing
else
none.
come through.
Seeing none.
Yeah, it was just that one person.
Can we get a
Just none,
motion
so
to?
can we get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Don't be beyond on.
Is Dawn, is somebody else
My
coming speaking?
motion.
Wait, is
But he
someone
said-
else?
Don't be beyond at this meeting.
Oh.
It's I see on the screen.
They, if anybody else, they can unmute themselves.
They can raise their hand and ask for permission to join.
I'm gonna go.
I think that's just there.
Seeing as there are no other comments in the public time, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Nobody
My
else.
motion to adjourn.
Second?
Next meeting is
So
gonna be
the meeting is adjourned and the next meeting will be.
May 2nd at 6:30. Thank you.
very much.
I mean,
Oh my God.
61.
Ellen, they haven't put in their local regions. The signs.
No, I wrote it down.
That-